Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby bringing you a new 7.5 premium tank, the Tier 6 German tank destroyer, the Dickermax. So here we're looking around the tank. If any of you have played the game Company of Heroes, it will look fairly familiar, given a different name inside that game. So let's take a look at the stats of this tank. So it's at Tier 6, as was previously mentioned. It's got fairly low hit points at 550. It's quite a heavy tank, as can be seen here, weighing over 25 tons, and it's got mediocre engine power of 272. However, it's got a good speed limit which allows it to go quickly downhill, and fairly good traverse speed for a tank destroyer. Like many of the low tier tank destroyers, it's got awful hull armor, especially at the sides and the rear, which should be easily penetrated by HE. It's got a good view range due to its open top of 400 meters. Its gun, it has a 105mm gun which has a 6.45 rate of fire, 169mm of penetration with AP and 300 average damage. It's got a respectable accuracy of 0.36 and an aim time of 2.3. So how does the Dickermax compare to other Tier 6 tank destroyers, a lot of people will be asking. Well, let's look at it here. I've provided the stats as an overview. We can see that the Dickermax has the lowest HP. It's also got the worst horsepower to ton ratio significantly, which means that its acceleration is amongst the slowest of any of the Tier 6 tanks. It has an average top speed, near the lowest, only slightly higher than the Jagdpanzer IV. However, due to its horsepower to ton ratio, it's unlikely to reach these top speeds along flat surfaces. Its track traverse is very good for a Tier 6 tank destroyer. However, its gun aim speed is a lot slower than the Jagdpanzer in the Su-100. Its view range is exceptional. It's the highest by over 30 meters, and its radio is acceptable for its tier. Its armor, as can be seen there, is only better than the M18 Hellcat, which has the speed that the Dickermax does not have. As an open top tank, it's going to be very vulnerable to HE damage, and its poor side and rear armor will be easily penetratable by medium caliber guns firing HE. Its rate of fire is excellent, considering that it has an average damage of 300, and this means that its DPS or DPM is the second best amongst the Tier 6 tank destroyers, only significantly lower than the Jagdpanzer IV, which has to make up for its awful penetration. So the Dickermax has 169 penetration firing credit ammo, which is okay. It's not brilliant for a tank destroyer for its tier, but it's neither going to be too much of a hindrance unless you're trying to shoot Tier 8 tanks and above frontally. So compared to the other Tier 6 tank destroyers, its aim time is 2.3, which is in the middle, and its accuracy is 0.36, which is very much the same as most of the other tanks, except for the Su-100 when it fires the 122mm. So on a final note, a stat that I don't usually pay much attention to in a hard format is this tank has excellent gun depression, as I will show you in this gameplay footage. So here we go, we're playing the Dickermax. You can see its open top here, and there you can see its excellent gun depression, nearly able to shoot the floor right in front of the tank. So we can see that although the top speed of this tank is 40, it's taken it near half a minute to be able to reach 30 kilometers an hour, which seems to be more or less its top speed along the flat. So there we can see the excellent high alpha damage of this tank. We were able to roll 293 against an M18 there. I think 300 is a very healthy number to have. I mean, you 2-hit yourself. Whenever you can do half your own damage to a tank of your tier, then you know that you've got a very powerful gun on your hands. Here we can see that the gun depression allows us to shoot basically over the edge. This allows us to keep most of the front of our tank covered, and there we go. It's just awesome to be able to shoot slightly over mount and keep most of your tank covered from nearly every angle possible. So after playing the Dickomax a bunch of times on the public test server, I find that these mounts are the best thing for the Dickomax. Being on a hill, able to shoot tanks from range, and being able to try and go as hull down as possible and use this excellent gun depression is the way forward for this tank. There we were able to just roll for 336 on the Churchill, and then take out most of that tier 6 medium tank T-34-85. We can see that it's got really good track traverse, which allows it to relocate, face its enemies, and unleash hell. So its gun arc is not the biggest of the tank destroyers, which means you have to keep in mind where your gun is compared to your gun arc to make sure that you don't jump over it, move your tracks, and lose a lot of accuracy. So there we can see our opposite number, another Dickomax. I'm pretty sure we didn't do all of that 451 roll.
We finished him off.
So this is an excellent example of the gun depression. We're able to aim straight down on that Churchill from not even passing over the crest of the hill. However, we take a lot of damage due to our poor armor.
Track hit.
Again, artillery is going to be a nightmare for this tank with its open top. I'm wondering why this grill isn't firing. I was hoping the grill with its rapid reload could at least get a shot on the T1 Heavy. What is it doing? Is it waiting for me to engage it?
We've got them.
There we go, we take the first shot. The second shot hits our gun mantle, and just as we reload, he takes us out of the game. So we can see there that we got 30k credits for a rather poor loss. Gives you an idea what the credit potential is of this tank. So here we're playing one of the new 7.4 maps, Wide Park. This hill is wonderful. Gives a chance to show what the gun depression is of this beast. Don't know how that missed. Maybe there was a tank in front of that tank. So now we're really going to go show the DPM potential of this tank.
Punch right through their
Roll of
armor.
367. Another roll of 307. A tracking shot and a roll of 304. And we finish him off with 165. So that was a tier 7 heavy, which we took out very effectively.
They're knocked out.
This tank has got rapid fire. for such high alpha damage. So this tank has more DPM than an E75 and only 5% less DPM than a mouse,
That's gotta hurt.
just to give you an idea of what this tank is capable of. And there we were able to take down another tier 7 heavy with the help of teammates.
Track hit.
Gonna get a kill on this Dicamax.
We finished
Gun
him off.
depression is just insane. Can't really get over it. It's the main feature of this tank for me. So I said it during the live stream and I'll say it again, this tank really feels like a trapdoor spider. You feel like you can use the ledge, go over, take your shot, pull back, and not have to expose yourself for very long due to your excellent gun depression.
Nice shot.
So we try and trace him through here, but we find out he was behind a building, otherwise our shot would have killed him. On a side note, you can see that I'm down to 11 rounds left. That's because the Dicamax does not carry very much ammo at all. One of the downsides of the
Went
tank.
right through.
Due to this, I don't recommend taking very many HE rounds because the AP rounds are so useful and you will run out of them if you have a very good game. So that was our top gun. Let's just fast forward a bit. And I bet you guys thought that one was going to go in. No, he bounced our bolter's medal. Our second shell hits something. Hits one of the thin pillars there by the looks of it. But we get fortunate and take down the 7th kill, claiming a bolters in the Dicamax. So we can see that we've got 1.7k experience on the regular server and 64,000 credits for that game on the regular server. Now that was a good game, but it wasn't an amazing game. I'm sure that the credit potential of this tank can go up to 70 or 80k if you have a fantastic game. So now I'm just going to finish up by showing some rapid fire Dicamax highlights of the gun, all taken within the same game on the new map, Serene Coast.
Punched right through their armor. Enemy is hit. Penetration. That's gotta hurt. Penetration. Enemy armor is destroyed.
So overall I'm really happy with the Dicamax. I think it's a fantastic tank at tier 6, irrelevant of its premium or not. I think its gun depression is a very interesting trait. Although it's slow, its high alpha damage and great rate of fire mean that it can pull off a hell of a lot of DPM to punish tanks. And it's a real monster at tier 6. I think when it gets into a matchup where it's the top tier, it's really going to be able to have a field day as long as it doesn't get swamped and shot lots by lots of other tanks. And here to finish off, a sheer example of the gun depression that we can use. This tank can really pull off some fascinating shots. So here we can see the result of that game. We managed to pick up nearly 1,500 experience and 63,000 credits on the regular server. We hit 14 out of 19, which was enough to give us a Confederate medal. So again, we can see that the Dicker is able to earn over 60,000 credits a game. This is with a premium account, I may add. But for a tank that costs just over 3,000 gold, this might be a very viable option for people who want to purchase a premium tank and don't want to pay the 7,500 that you would have to if you wanted to have a tier 8 premium tank. Also, this might be very good for people who don't like to play high tier games and like the action at lower tier but still want to play a decent premium tank with a great gun, unlike the Churchill and the Valentine at tier 5 and 4 respectively. So thanks a lot for watching my video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you want to see more 7.5 content, either check out my other videos or think about seeing my Twitch TV account, which has recordings of all the live streams that I did on the 7.5 test server with commentary from the audience. So if this video has been useful to you, please rate it at the bottom, and if you've agreed or disagreed with anything I've said, then feel free to leave a comment. And if you feel so inclined and you've liked this content enough, then think about subscribing so that you can see my future content.